You know what he should do? He should really look at where the money went. They don't ever want to do that, because when you see where the money went and the scams, you don't even have to see anything. Just look at the heading and the scam that they've created. And a judge like him will never look at that.
The judges strike again. A district court blocking DOGE's shutdown of USAID, and that's just for starters. Take a look at everything held up just yesterday, stopping the EPA from rescinding $20 billion in climate grants, denying an order excluding transgenders from the military, and they want to keep migrant criminals in America.
He actually said we shouldn't be able to take criminals, killers, murderers, horrible, the worst people, gang members, gang leaders, that we shouldn't be allowed to take them out of our country. Well, that's a presidential job. That's not for a local judge to be making that determination. I think at a certain point, you have to start looking at what do you do when you have a rogue judge.
All right, so we knew we were going to get big legal battles with all this, Jackie, but I feel like these injunctions you're seeing, right, temporary or nationwide or whatever it feels like it's just run amok at this point. Do you agree?
Yes and no. We did expect it, and I think this is part of the legal system as it plays out. So the first thing President Trump did in the case of the district judge who said basically that USAID needs to be reinstated right now, he said, we're going to appeal, and they are going to appeal. That U.S. district judge basically said that there were a couple of constitutional violations with the way Musk and DOGE were shutting that agency down, and that basically they would have to reinstate everything right now. And that's what a temporary injunction is. It sort of is able to block harm in the interim while you get to the main decision, whatever that ends up being. And so I think this is par for the course. I think the administration fully expected this. You've got to start somewhere by putting your foot down and saying, okay, here's what we're going to do, and then let the process play out. I'm not concerned about this at all. If you think about President Trump and how the Department of Justice attacked him, and he basically appealed everything, he followed the legal procedure, he proved them all to be wrong, basically, at the end of the day. And so ultimately, I think we'll find this as well. We knew it was going to take a little time, is my point.
Okay, so Taylor, it sounds like what Jackie's saying is a lot of this is going to run its way up to the Supreme Court. And there you're going to start getting down to brass tacks because, as the non-lawyer, okay, to me it looks like a question of who gets to make policy in America constitutionally. Is it Congress and the executive? Or is it the judicial branch? And I would just argue, I don't think the Constitution gives the judicial branch any scope for policy making.
Well, what I can't figure out, and everyone on the panel, feel free to jump in if I'm off here, I didn't hear a peep from judges when we were spending billions on USAID, when we were spending billions of waste, fraud, and abuse that DOGE is trying to fix, when we were opening up the borders and letting all the illegal immigrants, criminals into the border. But now I'm hearing from the judges when we're trying to reverse the problem. So either way, I just want consistency. If a judge doesn't weigh in when they cross the border, why are they weighing in when we're deporting them? If a judge isn't weighing in when we're spending billions of dollars on USAID and people don't know where the money is going, why are they weighing in when then we're pulling back the money? That's what I can't understand.
Think about the reality of what's going to happen here during the injunction period. If you've targeted a division of some government agency and they know they're getting whacked, the attrition rate's going to go up to 50% while the injunction's in place. Your job is not safe. It's just being debated on its way to the Supreme Court. So you're going to get a lot of people leaving these jobs anyways. And I'm not saying this is a good thing or a bad thing. It's just once it's targeted, once it's out there, once it's public that a judge would rule on it, an injunction, and you're there thinking to myself, I got to get a job because I'm getting whacked one way or the other. I think it doesn't change anything. It just delays a little bit. And some of these whacking policies were 20 weeks anyways. So this will get accelerated up into the Supreme Court, get decided pretty quickly. DOGE is going to keep going because most people, pragmatic people on both sides of the aisle say, this is a good thing. And it's just, I know it's contentious, but my goodness, this doesn't change anything.
Is it death by 1,000 paper cuts? I mean, is that their hope? I know Kevin thinks DOGE is not going to slow down, but it feels like that's actually what they're trying to do. 1 million lawsuits to keep this from happening before 2026.
Well, I fully believe that President Trump and Elon Musk and everyone involved in this noble effort knew that the lawsuits would come and come quickly. That was they're playing not just chess, but they're playing chess and polo and golf and 800 other endeavors while the left is playing checkers. The similarity between these judges and these government workers is their belief system or their sense of self. It's like these government workers think their jobs are sacred, and these judges clearly think because they wear robes that they're saintly. And speaking of, this was completely expected. Here's just one of the judges. The federal judge who indefinitely blocked the executive order barring transgender people from serving openly in the military. Right. The one who argued that the idea that there are only two sexes is not, quote, biologically correct. This individual, this federal judge, has a long history of activism in the Democrat Party, volunteered for Joe Biden, and donated tens of thousands of dollars to Democrat campaigns. And some of this was known, but we're talking about $38,000 to Democrat causes since 2008. That's a pretty penny.
Yeah.
Act Blue. Democrat Senator John Ossoff's campaign got some coin and then maxed out contributions to Biden's 2020 presidential campaign. This is all according to FEC records. But defeat by tweet, a Democrat-aligned super PAC supports the Justice Fund. Again, I could go on and on, but we're talking about a left-winger dyed in the wool, this particular judge. So, of course, this is what they're going to do.